myself. Hello, welcome to Club Call. It's Wednesday, the 4th of September. Happy birthday to my brother, by the way. It's his birthday today, obviously, because I've just said happy birthday to my brother. Jack, you okay?
Yes, I'm all right, thanks. It's not my birthday.
No, it's not your birthday.
No.
Otherwise, I would have said happy birthday, Jack.
Would you have, though?
Yeah.
I don't think you would have.
If it was your birthday and I knew, of course I would.
All right, fair enough then.
Seems a weird thing to say, Jack.
I don't know. I don't really
When
have
is your
anything
birthday?
else to add. The 12th of November.
Oh, okay. I won't remember, I don't think.
No.
But I might.
That's
You
what I
never
mean.
know. You never know. I might do. I can never say never, Jack.
No, I'm just going off like I don't think you wished me a happy birthday last year,
think it
which
did.
is fine.
You were probably in bed.
I think I was actually.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've been out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I mean, that's your favourite place to be rather than, being in here where you're supposed to be at times.
am I not here?
You're here now, yeah, apparently. We'll know in a minute.
When was I last not here when I was meant to
Yesterday.
be? That was authorised.
Well,
with
it
the
wasn't
boss.
authorised by me. Who's the boss? Because
Ped.
he's not, though, is he?
I think he's the authority figure.
I don't think
It's
he
just because I talked to Jack.
Yeah.
is. Again. That's that again. You've done, what you've done there is you've shot yourself in the foot. You've made a terrible assessment again.
Again? What else have I done?
Well, but when the video comes out, they'll all know. They will all know.
What video?
No, one we've made,
What
not
video?
not a dodgy video.
No,
Like
I
a
know, but
normal
like
video.
which
Just
one have I?
ones where people
One
have
night in
checked.
Crosby.
One night in Everton. Eugene says Everton exclusive. David Moyes is coming back. Eugene, keep sending them, my mates. Keep sending them exclusives over, and we'll keep reading them out. Right, we're going straight to the lines. I think there's another Baz on the line, so let's go and see. Hello, Baz. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hiya, mates. What do you want to say?
Oh, is that Pad? Is that Baz? Is it all Pad?
It's Baz and Jack.
All right. I know I'm seeing it on screen, mate, but it must be a delay. Then it must be behind you.
Okay, mate.
I'll turn the screen down then, so.
So it doesn't mess with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, mate. I don't want to be the impinger of doom or whatever, but I'm going to have to start with Mr. Dice today. And I went to. I'm a season ticket holder. I went to game Saturday.
Yeah.
And I've heard what you've had to say, you and Pad, over the weekend, and I totally agree with both of you. I've heard lots of different variations from whatever, bloody pundits and nonsense and stuff.
Yeah.
Just want to add a couple of little tiny bits into the mix, mate, because of
Yeah, go on.
what people miss, which I think I'm not a Dyche fan. I've been on before and I've said I'm not a Dyche fan.
Yeah.
I don't like the mediocre stuff he's serving up. It's doing me head in, mate, to be honest with you. And okay, we're in bad shape, and sometimes needs must. We've got to go with what we've got. But
Yeah.
I just want to put a few bits out there that people are missing a little bit. Saturday, and you'll know because you went to game. It was fucking red hot Saturday.
Mm.
It was scorching, and I was sat in the paddock. And for 70, I'd say 75 minutes, I thought we were really good all over the pitch. To be honest, I go to the match with me lad, and we were chuffed. I thought we were brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'm not going with the narrative of it collapsed after 87 minutes. It started to collapse at 75 minutes for me.
Yeah.
And all this stuff about you could smell something at 87 minutes. There was a stench at 75 because I was sat there with my lad going, we're starting to fall apart a bit here after being so good. I could see Bournemouth, Harrison, McNeil, just that little tiny bit not getting to the ball quick enough.
Yeah.
And you could see it. And I'm saying to me lad, they put 5 subs on here. This is half a team.
Mm.
So he's either giving them legs because the game's gone, or do you fancy it? I said, this is no good for us. They get a goal here. You know how it's been for us the last few years. I said, they nick a goal here. We're in trouble here. And it started to swell, the groundswell of people around me that were saying, we need fresh legs, mates, because it was obvious. It didn't fall apart in the last 10 minutes, I don't think. It fell apart before that. Or never fell apart, sorry. It was starting to fall apart.
Mm.
And if he can't see that, if he was a racehorse owner, he'd have lost his licence. Them players were absolutely on the feet, a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ndai thing, you know, I take the point that both you made over the weekend. He was our best player, and taking your best players off. But I kind of thought also, you know, we've got a gem here. Like, let's put him in cotton wool. We're well ahead in this game. I could have gone with taking him off, as long as what we do ensures that we keep what we've got.
Yeah.
And I was astounded because we are bottom of the league. We're -7 goals conceded, and we're 2-0 up. I mean, Moyes would have closed that game off. I mean, we talk about Benitez. Benitez would have closed that game off. The Mourinhos of this world. And you've got O'Brien on the bench, you've got Garner on the bench, you've got Young on the bench. Just go back, just say, look, stick with what we've got. Let's put an extra centre back on. We've been caught here with a goal. Even when they brought one back, put another centre back on and shut up shop. And let's close this down. It's nonsense. And then all this stuff on the touchline where he's saying, I could see what was happening. Why aren't you doing something about it? Why aren't you telling people? And I've watched some really odd things from him of late, to be honest, because I go to the game. I remember the Ashley Young incident when he got sent off at Brighton.
Yeah.
You might remember yourself this. He wrote a note on the touchline. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
He got a piece of paper out and wrote a fucking essay on a piece of paper. he gave it to Jack Harrison, I think, who gave it to Keane. Gave it to Tarkowski. Yeah. And it was like, the message was, I think, to put McNeil at right back. It was unbelievable. And I thought, do you not have scenarios where things could happen? Do you not have that kind of thing? It was like a school teacher of kids. It was just ridiculous. I even said to Jordan at the time, my lad, I was saying, that's bizarre, that. Why do you, it's like really, it looks amateurish what they're doing. Yeah. And then another tiny thing that got me thinking on. Do you remember in the first half against on Saturday? Centre back went down for Bournemouth with an injury, and the whole of their team went to the touchline. Yeah, I started drinking water. Yeah. Guy on the floor had water because they brought the things on, and the keeper went back to his net and he's drinking water. And I'm thinking, this is like they're under the cosh a little bit. I mean, we never scored, but they were under the cosh, and it was that's an astute manager going, hey, whoa, hang on a minute. Let's just say, let's have a breather. Let's break it up a little bit. They all went over for a drink. I think 2 of ours went for a drink. I mean, why isn't I shouting them over and going, come and have a drink? Come and have a chat? I just miss it. I look at things like that and I think, I just don't get it. I don't get where you're coming from. It's and then all the stuff the players under the bus stuff done my head in over the weekend.
Yeah. Do you think, Baz, as well? Yeah. That like some of these things are really important, and people do sort of like some people just sort of like wash over it. But the biggest thing about it, the weekend, and you're absolutely right. We were saying, it was more for us, it was around me. People started saying it, we're about 10 minutes left. We're giving the ball away now. We hadn't done that all day. We'd controlled the game, but it started getting sloppy. People, like you just said, they were getting there, but they were getting there a fraction later than they had been. And that's tiredness, whether it's mental tiredness or fatigue. I don't think, I mean, Jack, just bring you in here. People missing how important changing 5 of a team is. Just even for legs, forget about quality, but just even for freshness of legs.
Well, it's literally half a team, isn't it? It's half a team, and like Baz has said as well, on a red hot day, you are going to notice it as well. And you mentioned it doesn't really matter about the quality, and you're right, it doesn't, because it's half a team, but they were good players they brought off the bench.
Yeah, I meant for us, if people say we haven't got the quality of course. Or whatever, but legs would have made the difference.
And even if you don't go man for man and do 5 subs, because, we don't necessarily have 5 players to bring on, you can do 3. You can do 3 and you've negated their advantage at the least, haven't you? And you've got James Garner who can come on. Obviously, he was the obvious one on that 75-minute mark when the rot did start to set in a little bit, when you could notice they were visibly tired. You've got Lindstrom, you've got Ashley Young, who, say what you want about him, he's experienced, and you can stick him in a few different places. Jake O'Brien to bring on if you really need to. Maybe that was the move after we went a goal down. I think, I would have brought on James Garner and maybe Lindstrom if you want to change one of the three behind the striker around that 75-minute mark. And then, bring Jake O'Brien on if you want to see it out, if you have conceded the goal and they're going to be on top of you for the next 10 minutes. And Ashley Young for Seamus if he needs to come off as well. That's 4 substitutions. You can make 4 substitutions that would have made sense.
Yeah.
And we didn't do them.
And they are kind of like hard worker with Garner, but defensive-minded substitutions. I don't care if you played brilliant, which we did. We played well up to them. Just take the point, mate. We're in dire straits. It doesn't really matter. It's just a bit where I'm saying, well, I'd like Ndiaye to stay on, maybe to, he was our main threat. 3-0 didn't matter to me, mate. The 2-0 was more important to me in getting the points. And, I'd go to the international break, and it had the complete opposite effect.
Yeah.
And it was just watching it in front of us and then watching him watching it. It was incredible. It was just, and then I know he threw he threw players under the bus, I thought, the weekend, but he doubled down a bit on the other day. He said something like, he talked about Ndiaye, his contribution he made. And in that build-up to talking about Ndiaye, he said he was one of the 2 players in that day who deserved a bit of credit or something. And I thought, well, hang on, they all deserve credit.
Yeah.
Because 75 minutes, it was one of the best performances I'd seen for a long time. I couldn't really say somebody was poor, someone was bad, it was good. And it was different, and it was a bit of build-up play and a bit of 1-2s going on. Round the corner, you fly in, it was good goals, got scored,
Yeah.
So again, that's like, if we're good, we're good. But if we're bad, it's not my fault,
Yeah. You're right, mate. You're right.
Of course, the defenders will get the stick for stuff like that. But then also, you got to know that the ball is not played at the back all the time. They're getting to them positions to put crosses in to score goals because the whole of the midfield is got no legs. So it's just it's 5-a-side in the box, isn't it? That's how it turned out. So you can't say Markham was shocking. Mikalenko, what was he doing on the, and all that kind of stuff. I get that. Yeah. But really, it shouldn't have got to that. We had enough bodies to go in there and go, and even tell the Corey to stick in the defensive mid. Well, he was just roaming around doing that. I don't know what he was trying to do. It was just totally bizarre, mate. And anyway. And then that's been, I wish there was something else to talk about. And there probably is with PSR, to be honest, but I'll let someone else after me. But
it's good to see that you're over it, Baz, anyway.
Honest to God. It's finished. I said to my lad Saturday, I said, you know what, I can't wait to see Pat on. Glad to see the reaction outside. I said, oh my God. As if you haven't had enough, you just don't know how far down you can go. We keep lowering the bar each time we play. It's unbelievable. But I've just thought there should have been loads of things we could have took away from that game. Loads. And for me, there is some positives. I thought Lewin was good. I thought he took his goal well and he worked hard. Target man, it was good. Then Ndiaye was brilliant. That's what we need. Someone to get people out the seats, And it was good. It was. The thing with Coleman, and he come in for a lot of stick, but Coleman was never out of their box. He was up and down the pitch all over the place. So of course he's going to be tired. He's got to see that. Yeah. And if that man doesn't see it, then and he doesn't. I just believe he doesn't. I think he's the Chauncey Gardner at the Peter Sellers movie. He just talks stuff, and I'm not sure. I think he talks a load of plus to me, but anyway.
See what happens, mate. At least we can't get beat this weekend. That's the best way to look at it, Baz.
I'm sure they'll find a way.
That's terrible. Right, go on.
Cheers,
thanks,
mate.
Guys.
Nice one.
All right, nice one, mate. Thanks a lot. Take care. Ta-ra, pal, ta-ra. There you go, Baz, getting us underway tonight with He's right. There's your job as a manager. It can't all be on the manager, of course, but your job of a manager is you've picked a team that you think can win the game. Well, he's done that. Everton played really well. But you also have to see when the team is dipping. And he's right. It was dipping. People, where I sit, we're all there going, make the changes. And you could see it at Bournemouth. Legs had gone. He was great. But his legs had gone. Seamus, knackered, hot day, up and down. He'd gone on that run in the box. He was tired. They put 2 fast players on him for the last 20. Just these little things were starting to creep in. You've got to help your team, even if it is just fresh legs, haven't you?
Yeah, it felt like another instance, and we've mentioned this in regard to the manager before, where he does things based on principle almost rather than the practicality of what he's doing. Now, in this case, it was, oh, well, I don't want to change a back four that's not conceded because obviously, I'm not that type of manager and, we keep it solid. No, that's one of like the modern things these modern managers do is I'll keep my back four as it is. Defenders should be able to see out the game, stuff like that. And then, Decore coming on for Ndai. Forget the fact that, Decore would be the one he played there if Ndai weren't available for whatever reason. It's not his type of game because we're doing well controlling it. There's a good level of fluidity between the three of them behind the striker. Keep that as it is or bring on a player who fits that mould.
But he changed two positions for one sub because he took McNeil, who was playing in the 10, and shoved him on the left.
Yeah.
And then put Decore there, do you know what I mean? It wasn't just a left winger for a left winger, which is it should have been. But have we got someone else up we've had? Who was it? Brian. Who? Brian. Okay, no, Brian. Good evening. What do you want to say? Hello, Brian.
Oh, hello. I was put on mute there, so I've missed out on what have you been talking about just since the last caller.
Okay, right, that's no problem. What do you want to say?
Well, I wasn't there on Saturday.
However, far from Sweden,
yeah, it's not easy. And I didn't even see the first half because my lad had a match.
Okay. Did you see the second half?
Emphasise. Sorry?
Sorry, we lost you for a sec, but it's fine now. You're back. Go on, mate.
Okay, all right. So I started watching the second half, having missed the first.
Yeah.
And it was what happened. I just say I can completely and absolutely emphasise with the crowd because it took me all the way back to the 74-75 season when we were going for the league. And we're playing Sheffield United at home. We're winning 2-0. And lo and behold, what happens? Can you guess? Yeah, we lost 3-2.
Okay.
Now, I was standing just about where Ped sits, and that 3-2 goal is ingrained in my memory. It pains. It really, to be reminded of that really hurts.
Yeah.
And on Saturdays, it'd be just the same because we can still see those crosses coming in now. You're not going to be able to forget it. The diabolical defending, which we put up. But what I also took out the game was how everyone reacted to these very simple skills, which is obviously something I realised we hadn't seen for so long at Goodison. An Everton player receiving the ball with his back to goal, flicking it on his foot, turning and heading away towards the opponent's goal. How long is it since that's been happening?
It's been a
how
while.
long? It's not been happening. And that's why people are getting on their feet. They say, wow, look at that. And you're just suddenly reminded of, yes, you don't have to just pass it backwards or sideways. You can actually do your fella. And wasn't it wonderful? And what happened? It caused chaos in the defence. Put the defenders on the back foot. And that is, they had a couple of players. I'll call him Tim, for argument's sake, who's very good. And
hang on. Tim, for argument. Tim, because you don't want to say Iraboon and Bright. Come on.
Iraboon.
But you're absolutely right. He'd had a great game.
And then, of course, I've posted last couple of weeks now about Dyche being a dead man walking. Was my my term. And having said what he's done about what he said about the players and the supporters, the reactions and such, and then excuse me, I got something caught in my throat. And then he's I've just lost my thread there.
You were saying Dyche is a dead man walking in your opinion.
Dead man walking, yeah.
And some of the things he said.
Yeah. This has happened again. And of course, yes. What he's done is he's digging himself into a deeper hole because having making his statements when he was at Burnley about Everton forgot how to win, And all these
Yeah.
comments now about not playing players who have not played in the Premier League. And here's a man with how many, nearly 500 games in charge. And you've got 39,000 people at Goodison who can all see what's required with 15 minutes to go and absolutely with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And yet he's the one with the 500 matches in charge almost. And he's the only one failed to see the obvious. So I don't know what his coaching staff are saying. I would like to know. But I would feel that they're as embarrassed as we are about the manager's performance. And sadly, I just can't see a way out for this manager anymore. And as we all know, the only reason he's still there because there's no one in charge to make any decisions.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically that. I just want to go back to 1974-75 season saying it's not the first time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will be the last of those. Yeah. Strange shame we didn't have that, what was his name, that referee when we got back at Man United and we got level. And under Moyes, was it Jagielka running through?
Oh,
Mariner
yeah.
was the referee, I think it was. Or was it Friend?
No, it was the other fella. It was Martin
Turney.
Thingy.
Clattenburg?
Martin Friend, wasn't it?
No, Martin. The one who shanked Rodwell off in the derby. Atkinson, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Atkinson.
Martin Atkinson who blew the whistle when
Atkinson
Jags ran
could have
through
been,
at
yes,
3-3?
And he's about to take his shot and he
About
blows
to
the whistle.
shoot and he blew the whistle, yeah. It's crazy.
Well, it's a shame we didn't have him on Saturday because you
yeah.
feel like saved us a
know.
point.
It's grim, isn't it? And we'd had the warning at 2-2 break because Jordan Pickford had made 3 really good saves
Didn't he
at
just?
2-2. You know, that should have been the bloody warning. We were about to lose the game and he should have thrown Jake O'Brien on then and just to break the game up, but also to put another defender there. But yeah, frustrating. Frustrating is the word. And worrying as well, of course.
Indeed. So I think you need a few Swedes to come over and have a word. Anyway,
Yeah,
but we'll be over in October.
good. That's normally a win when you lot come over, so we'll need it.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
All right, Bri, good to hear from you, mate.
Nice one,
Okay,
Bri.
and
Take
just
care. Oh, go on.
we've got to try and do something about these PSR rules as well. With
Oh, yeah.
Leicester, well done to them. Well
Yeah.
done to them.
Blagged it, yeah. And Chelsea as well. They've blagged it as well.
Yeah, well, if you've got a hotel to sell to yourself, then,
Do we?
it's the way to go.
Absolutely, it is.
Anyway, I'll let the next fella on.
Okay, mate, no worries. Cheers, Bri.
Nice one, Bri.
Take care now.
Ta-ra, pal, ta-ra. Couple of
Ta-ra.
comments. James W. thinks Dyche will be gone after the Newcastle game when we've got 3 points. Nick Tube says, good show, lads. Villa fan here. Wish we had a channel like this. As a Villa fan, unfortunately, Everton remind me of Villa when we got relegated. We had 3 years fighting at the bottom. Needs a good reset.
Bit disappointed in Villa today. Those ticket prices are...
Oh, yeah. What do you think about them, Nick?
Those ticket prices are scandalous, aren't they? If anyone hasn't seen, basically for the Champions League games, they're charging £65 to £90 for the tickets, which me and Jack talked about it on More Than the Game before. Villa will probably turn around and say, well, if you don't want any more PSR charges, just, bringing everything together. If you don't want any more PSR charges, you're going to have to pay your part, and we've got you into this situation that you're in the Champions League. But come on, asking the average fan.
That's a lot
Just
of money.
dump up. Well, how many games? They got 5 home games.
5? No, 4, isn't it? Isn't it 8 games?
Is it 8
Yeah,
games?
so
Yeah,
it'll be
4 and 4.
4 home games. Yes, good games, big games. Champions League, but to ask fans
It's like 300
The
quid,
best
isn't it?
part
To pay
of 400 quid to go to
before
all of them.
Christmas,
That's 300, Jack.
to drop it on them.
Well, if it's 90 and it's times
Hey,
4.
you thought it was 60 to 80.
He said 65 to 90.
Oh, did he?
But, sorry, regardless, carry on,
Go on,
Pet.
carry on.
It's like Matt's channel.
I'm just making sure.
Rachel
If it was 80,
Riley
it'd have been
over here.
320, but if it's 90, then you're right, it'd be 380. Yeah.
To ask fans to pay that, and almost like it come out of like we just got into September, and you're saying to fans, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
we're having a bit of a moan that it's 25 quid for our
For the
League
Carabao
Cup
Cup,
game.
yeah.
And you're saying to fans, and those fans, of course, not going to miss it. They're going to want to be there. It's Champions League football. You know, Villa have been really good as well at like sort of this kind of thing in the last couple of years, but I'm a bit disappointed but I'm disappointed in football in whole, because what they will turn around and say, well, is if you want us to be here next year and you want us to be PSR, we have to do something. But this is the point of this is what I was saying earlier with Jack about PSR can stop billionaires spending their own money, and what it basically says to football clubs is, oh no, you can't spend your money, we need you to get your fans to spend their money. So a billionaire might go, lads, I'd charge you 20 quid. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to me, this. We make a couple of million quid a year via ticket sales extra. So like Bayern Munich said ages ago. But because of PSR, they're like, we're going to have to charge you through the nose now. And that's where it's wrong. That's where the whole PSR thing is absolutely wrong.
Should be 50 quid maximum, to be fair.
Absolute maximum.
And even that should be the absolute maximum for what it is. But that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Slightly different views on Sean Dyche from some people.
Good, let's hear them then.
Some of them are. So for 75 minutes, it was really good. Surely that's enough to build from with Dyche rather than sack him.
Do you know what?
Yeah, well, I had said that to someone, and what they said to me back was, look at the bigger picture then. The bigger picture is 5 wins since December the 16th, and it's September the 4th. At any club in the world, the manager wouldn't survive that many months with only winning 5 games of football, I don't think.
No. I mean, you know what?
That's the other side to it.
What the commenters saying is maybe, well, look, he is here, and we've shown signs that going forward for the future, while he is here, we've shown we can kick on. And, there is some truth in that, because that was the best, that 75 minutes on their own, that was the best Everton have played in a while, I thought, because we looked good on the ball.
Since Bournemouth last year.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Since Bournemouth turned up and couldn't be asked a year ago.
Yeah.
It was just the same game.
No, but I just thought the
Exactly
performance
the same
was
game.
quite complete, to be honest, because I thought we looked comfortable on the
It'd
ball.
have been complete, it'd have been 5 or 6.
I'm saying,
That's not complete to me. It was a good... Don't get me wrong, Jack.
Okay,
They played
fine.
well. They played well. But from 70, as Baz, the first caller, said, from about the 75th minute, though, it stopped. If you go and watch the game, it stopped.
I said in that
Because they were
75 minute, and I'm going to disagree with this person, but I'm saying
No, I agree with it.
Okay, go on then.
I'm not even being devil's advocate here. I'm asking you a straight question.
I think you're right.
How different would your views be on Saturday if the manager had come out after the game and taken full responsibility for what had happened?
I'd still be annoyed with him.
No, I know.
Because he's threw 3 easy points away.
Yeah,
They
but-
were easy until he messed it up. No, I'd think, well, fair play to you. You've had the balls to own up that for your mistakes, but he hasn't said that. He's gone the other way, doubled down on his own thing. But it doesn't even matter what the manager says. All I'm saying here is the 75 minutes before the game fell apart was really positive. But people have said to me, how can you forget the 98 at Tottenham the week before? And then open it up then and have a look at it since December. And even if we won 5 games since December the 16th, 3 of them were in 6 days. So take them out of it then. Do you know what it's like?
Yeah.
It depends how big you want your sample size. If you want to go, no, well, we won 5 of the last 7 games, so therefore he's great. Well, then why are you stopping at the 7? We've lost the next 3, so it's 5 out of 10. We hadn't won in God knows how many before the 5 that we won. So it just depends how you look at it, isn't it?
Yeah,
A body of work is, to me, I just think it's really, really terrifying that we've won 5 games since December. That alarms me as an Evertonian.
Well, what I was saying was, even if we take, that 75 minutes and, we go with the idea of, okay, signings are in now and, they're going to bed in and, yeah, we can move forward. Even with that game, even with 75 minutes of looking like some real progress in towards moving into a more competent Everton, that 15 minutes, forget about the fact that we lost how we lost is worrying to me, because it was the negativity from the manager in terms of the substitutions he made is worrying to me, and that shows you know what, you're right, if we'd played like that for 90 minutes and we hadn't collapsed, then it'd be like, yeah, you know what, he's shown he can get these playing football a little bit more. We're still not, we're not the entertainers or anything, but we've shown we can play football with a little bit more fluidity and a bit more forward thinking. The substitutions told me that he's not entirely comfortable with that, and he can't get away from the idea of there's going to be a dogfight in this game at some point, and we're going to have to be a bit negative. We're going to have to bring Decore on. That for me was worrying.
Nick has come back, who's the Villa fan, says the prices are just a slap in the face to all of our fans. Why can't we at least include a package where there's like a drink and a meal or something? This country is a joke on ticket prices. We are becoming like the USA in game prices.
I think on that, I think if they'd said something like you bought all four for, let's say, £200, I think you're guaranteeing then people into the stadium. You're guaranteeing,
and you're getting the money, aren't you?
You're getting the money, and I think that's slightly more justified. I think Manchester City did a package like that last season. And listen, it's not easy. People might snigger it when they see, this is the other side of it. People might see, I don't know whether Villa will fill it or not. I imagine they will.
Yeah,
they're that kind of club. But if they are spaces, people will snigger and point fingers and go, they can't fill their ground.
Yeah.
But they won't. People aren't prepared to go back and look at the whole thing. And I know Manchester City had this problem because ultimately, it's hard out there. You can walk into a shop now, and before you know it, you've paid a tenner for nothing. Do you know what I mean? You walk into a shop and you've spent a tenner without even looking.
Curry rice and chips was like £4.50.
Yeah.
It was £1.80 forever. £4.50.
Yeah, but that's the economy is a joke. It really is a joke. Well,
I'm not laughing.
Everyone feels the same way. So to say to somebody, in the next 3 months, I want 80 quid off you, 80 quid off you, 80 quid off you, 80 quid off you. Some people are like, genuinely, and 80 quid that's...
Birmingham's a working class city.
Well, you know what argument
like
I
paying
don't
that
like?
money. Villa sell out like every week probably. They travel strong, as they say, everywhere they go. And then you go and there's Carabao Cup games. Oh, and your Champions League games are 80, 90 quid a game. So they're like... It's not good, is it, for their fans and coming up to Christmas and all that? It is naughty.
Yeah.
It's naughty.
But you know what attitude I don't like is sometimes you see this in regards, you'll always get someone saying it wherever there's news about any club raising ticket prices. It'd be, well, if, the difference between a £10 increase is like putting you under the line where you're short on money, maybe you shouldn't be going anyway. Yeah. Whereas I think what that's missing is that at current price, they're within the safety net, but if something bad happens, if an unexpected expense came up, they just about have enough to cover it, but then it goes up and it's gone up every week.
Jack. I know, but what I mean, sorry, I'm on your side. What I'm saying is, it's not even just that, is it? Because they're just that £10, but what they're missing is everything's going up though, like Mars bars in the... If you could get them. Bars. Drinks in the ground, everywhere else. Everything's increasing. So when it is, they're putting them prices up by a tenner. It isn't just, if you can't afford that extra tenner, you shouldn't be going the match then.
But the thing about it is, though,
that might be the thing that you really want to go and do.
And it's not always a case of that extra tenner is the difference, but it's you're putting yourself a bit too close to the line where if something did happen,
but also clubs like Villa, they won't have a fan base on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night that is, flying in from all around the world. I'm sure they do, but
not as big as some other
football clubs. Football clubs, there's it's a two-handed thing, isn't it? Football clubs try and exploit the fact that it is our football club. It's not a case of like, well, shall I wait? Go to pictures and I'll wait for that till it becomes on, till it comes on the streaming site or whatever. It's not. So they exploit that, and there's no other market where you'd pay money to go and watch something continually terrible that makes you feel awful every single week, but we do. And they're always exploiting that factor, so it's... I just find it... I find that poor by Villa. I find it poor by any football club to exploit that fact. We got you in the Champions League. If you want to be there next year, you better cough up. You haven't been here for X amount of years, you need to cough up. I find that poor. You know,
But you know what, Ped? I'll link this back to one of our favourite topics on this show. If you went to a Taylor Swift gig and it was terrible,
absolutely.
it wouldn't be. But if it was terrible and you hated it, you wouldn't go again the next week. And if you did go again for whatever reason, you thought maybe she had an off night, and you went again and it was still terrible. Be like, right, I'm not going. Then she's doing a concert miles and miles away and away there. You certainly wouldn't go to that. But as football fans, we do, don't we? If you're a match going fan who goes every week, you're still going to go, aren't you?
Well, I mean, if Oasis only had 150,000 fans, they wouldn't be able to get away with the price tickets they're paying for charging for their gigs, would they?
They're making 48 million.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's because there are millions and millions of fans who want, you know.
I know.
So they know that. They know if I miss out.
Like, but they're not. Oasis aren't playing every week.
No. But that's what I'm saying. So if I miss out, then you want to use will get the tickets, and whereas
I won't. So.
Villa are playing every other week in the Champions League, and there's maybe 100,000 people who want to go and see them, if that, who can go and see them. And I just think it's the same for any football club. They just, you know, did Everton put the price up to 25 quid when they realised there was 37,000 people at the ground last week to see a League Cup game? Did they really go, we can do this, it's not an issue?
Who knows?
I think that's really poor, that.
James, who's one of our members, says the players played their heart out for 75 minutes and then Dyche let them down, more like. Daniel, who's a Spurs fan, says, I'm a neutral fan here, but I think Dyche has to go. The collapse the other day was unacceptable. And be honest, you're relying being worse than 3 teams worse than you is your only hope to stay up.
Yeah, but that's like saying Manchester City are relying on being better than the other 19.
Yeah, so I sort of understand what you're saying, Dan. If we carry on like this, we'll be hoping that the promoted teams are worse than us to stay up if we keep doing what we're doing. I personally believe that Everton are good. I said this, nothing's really changed my mind. They're good enough to be between 11th and 14th. I saw a team on Saturday. We dominated that team. I honestly, I said it on a final word. For 75 minutes, you would have said Bournemouth will struggle to stay up this season. They won't, because they're better than they showed. But what I mean is Everton were that superior to them for that 75 minutes. Now, it depends how much stock you're taking, losing 3 goals in 9 minutes at the end. But so if Everton could get to a level where they were playing most weeks like that, they would be absolutely fine. But if we keep doing, Dan, you're right. The way we played against your boys at Spurs, and then them last 9 minutes, Everton will be in massive trouble if it carries on. You cannot throw. It's difficult to win football matches in the Premier League if you continually shoot yourself in the foot. If you just do the job properly, it isn't, you know, to beat half the teams in this league isn't that hard if you do your job properly. We haven't done our job properly in any of the 3 Premier League games we've played so far. So that's where the worry comes from. Andy said perhaps the performance until 75 minutes was more down to Kevin Thelwell's signings than anything else. And then obviously he took them off, didn't he? Ian, who's one of our members, says, saw on Sky this morning adding on time for stoppages like subs, throw-ins, free kicks. Refs have been told to add on the times at the end of the game. It totals 9.5 minutes on average, the stoppage time.
Yeah, they always go back and forth with that though, don't they? They always have oh, come on, we're going to add everything on properly, and then they realise every game ends up running to just below 100 minutes and it goes away again, and then it's back again.
But what I think, all I was going to add with that is Georgia don't get that point. If you don't want to pay, don't go, someone else will. That to me isn't a valid argument.
That's a horrible way of
it's not an argument, it's not a valid point.
A Tory way of looking at things.
I think the thing is, what I'm saying is, now you have to be prepared. If the games are going to be like 99 minutes then, so you've got to look at your subs then. It doesn't matter. If you might look and go, 3 of my subs I'm fine with, another 2, the quality will drop a bit, but they've got legs to just run around and be nuisances and match the other team. You have to do it. There was a big furore over getting the 5 subs. So maybe the manager and his coaches have to get used to managing where you bring 5 subs on. That's just the way it is. And especially on a hot day. It's just, you know, we all have to evolve. The players have to get better. He's not if he thinks he's the finished article and his coaches are and they can't improve, then he's got more arrogance than we even think he has. So he's got to improve all the time, the same as what the players have. And the game has evolved now. It's 5 subs. And if a team changes half the team, half the team is very fresh. And if you ain't changing half of the team, ultimately they're going to be fitter than you. It's just facts.
Yeah, that's all it is, isn't it?
You have to learn to manage with 5 subs. That's the way it is. Get used to it, Sean, or you will be getting more results like you did on Saturday.
I think that's the same for some fans as well, or some pundits. It's like this. Listening to him talk in the aftermatch, saying all they have to do is do their jobs, kick it, kick it up the field, turn, and all this. It was like for me listening to a Sunday League manager. And I just don't think that washes any more players. You just mentioned there, playing an average of 97 minutes or whatever it is a game. You have to make changes. You have to freshen your team up. You have to bring subs on. Some managers are proactive, some managers aren't. I just don't think you can live in this world anymore of they'll just hang on. They'll see it out. You've got to see it out. But what if the other team are fresher than you? The other team have put players on in the final third that are gonna dominate you. If we were playing Liverpool and Liverpool decided it was 0-0 at half time or whatever, or Everton were winning 1-0, and then Liverpool suddenly decided to bring on 5 of their front players on, we'd be worried, wouldn't we? We wouldn't go. You wouldn't just sit there and go, we'll see this out. You look at it and go, it's the same when you play anyone. Look at times we've played City and we're like, you go, oh my God, look at the bench. Look at the bench. The bench will make the difference. Mm-hmm. Why does it have to be any different? Because it's Bournemouth. Mm-hmm. Okay, quality mightn't be there, but if they bring 5 players on and you bring 2, and your 2 are more or less attacking subs rather than getting hold of the game subs, that's where I just can't have this thing of they should have seen it through.
The biggest thing for me though, and we do this in our kids team on a Sunday, if one of our players was looking really tired and the opposition put 2 lads on,
you just move to cover it, don't you?
On the right hand side to mark our right back's knackered, so they put 2 lads, like they put Uwatara and Sinisterra on. We'd have to take our right back off, even if the quality dropped, just to put someone who could run. Yeah. So that he's not. That's what we would do as coaching a kids team. So they put Uwatara and Sinisterra on, 2 players who I would have at Everton, by the way. And Uwatara might have been there, only he didn't like what happened with Anthony Gordon in the Southampton game, and he went to Bournemouth instead. We would have a player who was going to be faced up with 2 lads who can run, and a player who is tiring, and a player who'd only just come back on the Tuesday night. That's what blew my mind about this, because this manager's hasn't got it in the tank, just coming back from injury. Yet he left them on for 97 minutes. I love Seamus, love him. But after 75 minutes, he should have been pulled off. He's never going to put Roman Dixon there just for pace. But put Ashley Young there for
just about
experience.
Reacting to what's happening, isn't it? Rather than waiting for a cause, rather than waiting for them to score down that side to change it. Just go, a potential problem area, make the change, sorted.
Yeah, but listen, it's done now, isn't it? We've just got to...
I know, but like Baz rang up and spoke about it, it's made me angry again now.
Well, people, Haley says Deitch has to go for me. He's very limited, not good enough for us. I totally agree with everything Ped said on Sky Sports. Well said, Ped. Gavin says, can't believe Deitch is still here. He's a poor manager. I think it was Roy Nixon, I think it was, who said, I've seen every manager since Katrick, and this fella is up there with Mike Walker.
Would it not be down there?
Down there, maybe.
Walker,
yeah. It says up there, but no worries, Nick. Nick says, thanks for the shout out, lads. Toffee TV is my guilty pleasure. Don't have to be guilty about it. Just
I know,
a little pleasure. Nice one, though, Nick. Nice one, mate. Gavin says we should have sacked him after he slapped Pato. Satoshi says impact subs are more important these days than 10 years ago. Even the smaller clubs have 1 or 2 game changers on the bench. Deitch is going to have to wake up and use the full bench. We've lost the game. It's 95 plus now. Well, I've just said someone's just put it there for us, isn't it? It looks like the average is 99.5 minutes a game lasts for now. So you do have to look and go, these players running around on a particularly hot day as it was at the weekend, are they all still going to be fresh as daisies in the 93rd minute when the team's changed half a team? They're not going to. Doesn't matter how fit they are.
You know for a fact, though, if you said to this manager, like, come on, use a bit more of the bench, like, why don't you? Wouldn't that be beneficial, especially if they've used their 5 subs? And you'd get a cliched reply about, well, it's also important for us to, keep the bulk of the team together, and these lads have been on that pitch together, and, we believe they've got it in them to see it out. And, we work with a small group of players, and these lads know each other's game, and completely ignoring the fitness side of things, even though that's what half his managerial philosophy is based around.
But surely the manager would say, the fresh legs would match up. Do you know what I mean? I
don't think that's anything he'd ever understand, because I think it's because he does work within cliches within his managerial style, and it'd just be back in my day it was 3 subs and we got by.
1 sub at first.
Yeah.
Right, we're going back to the lines. We've got Mike. Mike, hello, and what do you want to say?
All right, lads, you're all right?
Yeah, we're all right. What's up, mate?
Absolute joke, isn't it?
Which bit, Mike?
Which part of it? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Dice needs to go. Oh, yeah, that's come on. It's gone beyond anything now. He's bloody awful.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, go on.
I'd rather stick Ned in charge of Everton.
Wow, steady on. Ned, come on.
PSR, come on, mate. Yeah.
I know.
Said to you like loads of times, my kid's Chelsea, and it's just like, come on, really.
Yeah.
You look at Leicester, and you go, really? Are we just a test case for everybody, or? Well,
we were. They said this. If you look at it, because no one had been done. We were the test case, Mike. So if you look at it, we got 10 points, which was nonsense. Then it got reduced to 6. And then Forest got theirs, and theirs was 4. And then we went back after Forest, and ours was 2. And now Leicester have got none. By the time he gets to City will get 115 points.
Yeah, to be given them back, won't they?
You know what I mean? So that's how it
works. They won't get any.
Essentially. No, they won't get any. Chelsea being allowed to sell a hotel to themselves and put it in, and they've said, yeah, that's fine. So Man United were allowed to claim 40 million for COVID when others weren't. So it's, it is what it is, but we were ultimately the test case for it, absolutely. We were the one they thought they were going to slap us hard. We were going to take our medicine, and they were going to be able to puff their chest out to the government and say, we don't need regulation. We've sorted it ourselves. Everton are very naughty for building a stadium. And Leicester...
Can you hear something else in the background, or is it just me?
No, I can just hear you this week. Normally I can hear other stuff, but
I can hear a little bit of something, like it sounds like
I can hear somebody making a cup of tea or something. Or...
I don't know. Is anyone in your house making a cup of tea? Because if there isn't, you better go and check.
I'm making a room on my own.
Okay, all right, no worries. Well, no one. I can assure you, A, no one's making us a cup of tea because there's no one else in here. And B, I'd be double checking that you're on your own.
That's it, mate, because there's nothing really else to say, is it? It's just crap.
It's frustrating.
Indai looks alright.
Yeah, he did play well Saturday. Yeah. Listen, I think if we can deliver more performances like the first 75 minutes and remember the game last 98 minutes now, then we'll be okay. But we cannot. The manager can't be making those mistakes again. And the players have got to stick together and be honest as well. If they're knackered, put your hand up. Put your hand up and say, I'm done. They're adults. If you feel like you're losing the battle on the pitch, be big enough to put your hand up and go, I'm done in and I don't want to cost us anything. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic, but you can't really have that. It's like I'm with Ped on this one. You can't blame the players, mate. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm a manager, you're a manager, mate. At the end of the day, if your staff fail, it's not their fault, is it?
No, listen, I'm not defending him. He made critical errors, in my opinion, that led to us losing the game. And especially when his comments after the game are absolute nonsense. I'm sorry. You know, Roberto Martinez used to sit in the chair after the game and chat utter wham. Loved Roberto as a person, but he used to say things that didn't happen in the game. And at the weekend, the manager said done exactly the same. He talked about knowing we were about to lose the game at 2-1 and yet didn't do anything to try and head that off. That's negligence on that bit. But that being said, the players also have got to, you know, we can't be that easy to score against as well, can we? So to me, it was Sean Dyche started it and the players just ended it. That was sort of how I looked at it. That's just the way it is.
Well, you know,
but let's see what
leave it there. Then make us that honest to God.
We just need to listen.
There's literally nothing else you can say, is there, mate?
Well, you know what I can say?
Unless they come back from the international break and David Moyes has come back, dyed his hair red, so we can all at least, you know, sing a song.
Dye his hair red. Can't we sing? He's got grey hair and we don't care.
He like half the ground has grey hair.
That's all right. We're all involved.
It's a bit ageist, that though, isn't it?
No,
you know
it's just
what I
the colour of his hair. Well, wasn't that saying he's got red hair, a bit gingerest or a bit reddest?
He was saying we don't care. We
sure
accept.
Ginger community didn't mind.
I don't know. Pep might have been. Oh, mind you, you're strawberry blonde, aren't you?
Ginger community. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, Mike, enjoy the weekend in the knowledge Everton can't lose. That's always a good one.
Mate, the only thing I'm looking forward to.
That's a good place as any to start. Go and have a good night, Mike.
Oh, you too, mate.
All right, mate. Take care.
Have a good one, lads.
See you, mate.
Cheers, Mike.
Ta-ra, pal. Ta-ra.
Right, we've got Sharpie, I think.
Have we?
Yeah.
Sharpie with the questions.
Is he there?
I don't know. Sharpie, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me, lads?
I can hear you loud and clear. What would you like to say?
Well, I don't know. Probably just venting the frustration from the weekend.
Go on. Vent away.
Well, it's bloody hell. That was frustrating, wasn't it? And I'm sure you guys are way more frustrated than most people.
It's one way to put it, mate.
Yeah, I'm sort of choosing my words carefully with frustration, but it was when I was watching the game. It was. I really enjoyed it. I thought, wow, this is Everton. We're playing some great stuff. We were going forward. Yeah, we were going maybe forward a bit, like too much and leaving ourselves exposed. But as you know, we kind of sort of dominated the game, and just to lose it like that is. I've got to be honest. When they scored the first goal, I kind of thought to myself, nah, we'll be all right. We're all right. We're okay. We're in control. And then the second goal went in, and I'm kind of disappointed to say that I actually had a bit of a laugh because I just thought, here we go again. This is just Everton doing what they do. And then when they conceded that final goal, it was just, I just absolutely cracked up. It's just so Everton, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you know what, mate? I did fear the worst when they scored to make it 2-1.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
The first one.
Just because, know what it is? It probably is simply because I have seen it before.
So many times
you know,
before,
what's going to happen, but it shouldn't have been like that. But I'm no prophet here because I'm sure every Evertonian or most Evertonians sat in the ground could see the drop-off 75 to 80 minutes where we started to look knackered. And it's just, we keep reiterating it. Me and Jack have done it a few times today, yesterday. The minute you put 5 fresh legs on, 5 sets, 10 legs actually, 5 sets of fresh legs on half a team, quality doesn't even matter at that stage. Right, it's fitness and it's sharpness, just getting to the ball a fraction late, which is what we started doing. And I'm really disappointed in a manager that he keeps telling us he's managed over 500 games, you know, that he couldn't see the difference between the two teams in terms of fitness levels just at that stage, Jack?
Well, yeah, this should be his bread and butter, shouldn't it? Knowing how to see out the leads in a game that you've been comfortable in and controlled, and just knowing how to stick with it. Whether that is, shutting up shop and Jake O'Brien comes on and you do prepare for a little bit of a battle, or you go, we're doing well here, we're in control, they've not had a shot, let's carry on what we're doing, just make the subs to allow us to do that with fresh legs. That should be this manager's bread and butter and what he's built his reputation on, and there was none of it there at the weekend. It just looked like I'm sure things will be all right. So I think surely we won't lose this now. But
you can smell it.
Yeah, true. He could smell it. So if he could smell it, why didn't he do something about it? You know what I mean, if you couldn't smell your house burning down, you get out the house, don't you? Or you put the fire out. You know what I mean? You don't just sit there and go, no.
And it just
here's the house is on fire.
Just wouldn't make sense. Put O'Brien on. I mean, why did we buy him if we're not going to stick him on and do that sort of defensive duty to stop that kind of thing happening with 10 minutes to go?
Yeah.
You guys were saying put on Garner, weren't you, to replace Irabunum because he was tiring, wasn't he? Who I thought was really good, by the way. I like some of the.
Yeah, he was very good.
He's got an endeavour about him, hasn't he? He was trying a few little tricks and things to get through the defence on the edge of the box and stuff. And it didn't pan out, but he's definitely got the will there to get involved, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think for the second goal as well, he picks the ball up and he tries to drive forward into their box, doesn't he? And not everything he does works, you're right, but he's got that aggression about his play style where he tries to force things into happening rather than constantly playing the ball backwards and looking for someone else to make it happen. I really like Eric Burnham. I just think the game was starting to pass him by a little bit. And look, he's a young lad who's played a lot of football already this season. So we just need to manage that. That's not a knock on him. We need to be aware of that and manage it. Again, it's just reacting to things that are happening rather than living in an ideal world.
How old is he?
Eric Burnham, 21, just said he was 21 in July or something. Yeah, he's only, but his games, I mean, the manager will tell you this. He's hardly played many, Premier League wise. I think did he say it added up to 2 games or something or whatever, but played 20 odd or 30 for QPR, I think. So in football terms, he is only young, so you've got to get that stamina up in the Premier League, building it up. He's been fantastic for us so far, but there would have been no shame 76, 77 minutes going, Tim, off you come. And they got a standing ovation and saying to James Garner, just go and sit in front of our back four, James, and get hold of the ball and pass it like you do, and keep that measure of control.
And this is something. Go on, mate.
Sorry, he was at Villa last season, the whole of last season. I've got to be honest with you, I don't know hardly anything about the lad. He was at Villa the whole last season, or was he on loan?
Played in Europe for them and Carabao Cup and stuff. Yeah. And
how many appearances do you know?
I think
15 or something.
Or was it more than that?
12 appearances last season.
But that's League Cup, the whole lot.
But don't forget they were very good in midfield last season. They had Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Yuri Tielemans.
It kind of surplus to requirements, wasn't he? And it's kind of worked out well for us with him. I think
they didn't want to sell him. He only went because of PSR. Ideally, and a lot of Villa fans were telling us when we were getting him and stuff, they wanted him to stay because he looks like a real prospect. He's been great for us because we had Lewis Dobbin, who was never going to play anyway, let's be honest. And we've got a player who's gone straight into our first team and been brilliant. So we got the better deal.
When you look at the transfer, when you look at the players that we got in and let go, it definitely seems an upgrade for sure. By quite some margin.
It's only an upgrade if you use the players, is it not, though, Sharpie?
Yeah, absolutely. And Lindstrom, I mean, from what I've seen, I must admit I didn't see a lot of the preseason games, but he's looked really lively and quite inventive. And he's not. Why is he not getting more time?
I think with him, I would sort of be inclined to agree with the manager on him not playing at the moment, not coming on, but against just using, say, the Doncaster game for argument's sake, which he started, the Doncaster game. He just looked a little bit, at times, looked a little bit lightweight and a little bit the physicality of it just off it slightly, but he's very good footballer, no doubt about it. Very clever. And I think he'll grow in. He's one who I think you'll see growing into the season, Lindstrom. So I wouldn't throw the manager, like I wouldn't hang the manager out to dry on that one, because but he's still played in the Champions League. He's won the Europa League with Frankfurt. He was very good off the striker, and the manager shoved him out wide. So, but he's good enough to come on for 15 minutes or 10 minutes at the end of a game, because he's a good little footballer. He's bright. He can pick a pass. So, you know, it is one of them. I can understand why he's not starting Sharpie, but I can't understand why he's not maybe getting 10 minutes at the end. And he done okay at Spurs the week before, actually, when he came on.
Yeah, he did. He had a couple of moments, didn't he? And even in the Doncaster game, he would have had the assist for Boonham's goal if it didn't come off McNeil. So there's clearly talent there. I just think it's getting him settled into the league. And that is one where I can see the manager's Premier League experience thinking that's one where it is actually apparent. Not with someone like Jake O'Brien.
I wouldn't say the experience. What I would say is he's just got to get the physicality of what the Premier League's, right? The nuts and bolts, if you like, Jack.
But I think that's what I mean by experience, though, is getting familiar with the physical demands of it, which you get from experience, don't you? But someone like Jake O'Brien, I don't get that with, because he's shown he's a big physical centre-half, and he's shown composure. But yeah, he looks a talented player, Lindstrom. I think the other thing as well is he's come from having a tough season at Napoli, and I think confidence might be a factor for him as well. And
don't forget, sorry, go back to but when he went to Napoli, Liverpool wanted him. A few teams were in for him. He had a big reputation. If we'd have got him, straight from Frankfurt, there'd have been a huge buzz about him. Yeah, because there was a big buzz about him last summer when he was going to Napoli. He is a. So I wouldn't say traditional like number 10. He's an attacking midfield player. So he's more like an 8.5 is what some people, I know it's nonsense, isn't it? But he's more like a player that likes to break from midfield into the box and gets around the striker.
But he'd be great at, say, you had a midfield three with like a designated sitting player, and if you played him on the right of that midfield three and he had license to throw him into the wide spaces and the half spaces as well, I think that'd be great for him. But it's just, we have one way of playing, don't we?
Yeah, I hope he gets. I guess the games to play him in would be like the Leicester and Palace games. He might be able to get more involved. I think he'll get more out of him in those games. Like you say, warm him up to the tempo of the Premier. Maybe by playing those teams, would you say he might get more game time in those games as opposed to like Villa away?
I think you'll see him at Southampton. I think that's one where it makes sense to play him, because obviously you might need to rotate a little bit there as well. And I just think from there it depends on how he does. If he comes in and he starts taking men on and beating them, and he starts really running the game from midfield, I think it sort of forces the manager's hand to a degree. But I think we'll just have to be patient with him. Hopefully, we see him against Southampton, and he'll come on and he'll show us some good stuff, and we can build from there.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the game, like I say, it was really great to watch Everton for those first 85 minutes. It kind of infused me a bit more about sort of the club and how we're playing. It was really, really bright. I liked it. And then he's wow, some of the touches he was making. He made one in particular on that left side where he just took the ball in his stride with his outside of his right foot, I think it was, and it was like, wow, haven't seen that kind of flair at Goodison Park for quite a while. What was the situation with him? Is he on loan? What's the deal with him?
No, we bought him, Jay.
Okay, what was the deal?
15 million.
Okay, on like a
5-year deal.
5-year deal, 15 million. Whew, okay. I mean, as things stand, based on what we've seen, that kind of looks a bit like a snip, doesn't it, really, from what he offers the team?
Let's not go into much, but
I'm trying to be positive here, mate.
He's shown Doncaster and it's the two starts he had in a few days. He looked excellent in both, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's a player who runs at players, and we love that at Goodison especially. And you're absolutely right, Sharpie. It's been a while, and it's grim when you say this, because for so many other clubs they have this all the time.
They've got a few of them,
but we haven't got those players who take the ball and drive at teams. It's been a while since we've had someone like that, and he did light up Goodison Park on Saturday, and he put Bournemouth on the back foot, and it's been a while since we've done that to a team simply by having that one player. So it shows you if you got 2 or 3 in the side. That's why David Moyes had the mix, didn't he? When you go back, he had that He had a lot of good flair plays, but he had the grit, and we did sit in
as well.
We worked our bollocks off, but we had that flair, and he couldn't just quite get the final piece of a Romelu Lukaku, say, at the top end of the pitch, but he got that. Martinez fused that Moyes sort of structure for the first year with his attacking players, and obviously had Delafeu and Lukaku, and it was brilliant for that year. But then he ripped the defensive side up, and we fell away. And the other managers have tried it with varying success. You've just got to get the structure right. But NGI gave us something we haven't saw for a while, and that was why a lot of people were devastated.
Gives us hope, doesn't it? Or be a bit more attacking and maybe get a few goals. I like the look of him. He's lively. He's a lively. He's lively. He's a grafter, and he's got flair and a bit of skill. That's something that we've been crying out for quite a while.
Well, he had the most tackles, matched the most tackles by an Everton player, and he had the most interceptions, I think. So
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, considering we've got a defence.
Well, it just shows how hard he worked. It just shows how hard he was working in front of Michalenko. When that went off, and McNeil went there was no cover for Michalenko. Hence why the goals all. Two of them come from down his side. So
okay. Is Ped on the mic today?
He is, very briefly. Yeah, what do you want to ask him?
I just wanted to congratulate him on his Sky interview. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
That's just part of the course, Sharpie. That's just because I'm just very good at...
No, it was good stuff, mate. I enjoyed that one.
I'm just very good at my job, mate. Sorry to disappoint you.
That goes without saying. Yeah. No, I thought you just handled it really well. You didn't sort of get sucked into the any kind of... I don't know. You were just very forthright with what you had to say.
No, they love to do it, mate. They love to set the narrative. When I do, I'm sure Baz is the same, but we just never fall for it. They're always the same. Like when she asked me the question about Liverpool, I was like, who gives a
Who
cares? What's it got to do with us? Like they love it because they're looking for sound bites. They're looking obviously for you to say something. I mean, I like saying things, but I'm not stupid enough to fall into traps. So
Do they give you any sort of prep about what questions they're going to ask you?
No, mate, I didn't even, I'll be honest, right? I was sitting in this room on my own. I didn't even have anyone else in the room with me. And the TV and my headphones went completely dark for 5 minutes. I didn't even know if they were still connected. And the next minute I heard, you'll be live in 1 minute. And that was it.
Nah.
And that
were you
was
nervous at all? Or were you just like,
mate.
whatever?
No, don't get nervous, mate.
No, it's really good. I really, like I say, I really enjoyed it. I was very impressed by that, mate. Well done.
No, it was just a case of you've got to be thoughtful. It doesn't matter what you're saying, as long as you believe it. Then
he is very good with that.
Then you know what I mean. As long as you believe it,
indeed.
As long as you believe it, and the other voice in your head believes it, then you're all right. You know what I mean? You're all right.
Him and
as
the
long as
three
you do
voices
that,
he has in his head,
then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But thank you.
But less impressively, Ped, you haven't seen The Green Mile.
No, I haven't, mate. I've never seen it, mate.
So what is you like?
No,
seriously?
Mate. You know what? I know, mate. I've never seen it. It's just one of those films that I just can't be arsed with.
No. Come on,
it's just gone. Its time has come. Its time has gone, come and gone. I just can't be bothered with it.
What am I going to do with you, Ped?
But fair play for enjoying it, Sharpie. Now, can we get back to football? Right, Sharpie, lovely to hear from you, mate. Take it easy.
Yeah. Nice one, mate.
See you soon.
Nice one.
Nice one. Or it descends into bloody film night. Posh Matty, one of our members, says if Dykes won't change when it comes to using the bench. He claims the data suggests you don't change your team and will chalk Saturday down as an outlier. Weird, only he had this data. Posh Matty also says that swapping Dobbin for Tim Irabunum is elite level player trading. Fair play.
He definitely got the better end of it.
Yeah. And Banastic on the super chat, thank you very much, mate, says get this ginger dinosaur out of our club.
Feels a bit harsh.
Feels a bit harsh, that.
I'm not even ginger.
Bit harsh on Ped. Zero Signal says Ndai does look absolutely class. We've looked like we've needed that type of player for a while. Absolutely. Matt Gibson says superb points from the caller Baz. That was before every point hit the nail on the head. 4. Sean says Villa will probably beat Everton, but I can see Dyche using about 3 or 4 subs this time when the game is gone, and then say afterwards he tried to change things, but it didn't work, just to throw the players under the bus again. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? It's sad though, isn't it, that people are looking at that now and going, we'll do this next time,
Yeah.
we'll do this next time, because you just want your team to do the right thing. You want your club to do the right thing, don't you?
Yeah, and you know, we're at a point now where fans are imagining things the manager might say and like getting annoyed about it, but that's not the fans' fault, because he started this with the fans, hasn't he? Started saying things that like very much come across like digs at the fans, so people are anticipating it now. And look, that's a genie you don't want to get out of the bottle, because it never ends well.
I think just like so people don't start thinking like anyone's getting carried away with like, you know, calling out to be sacked or anything like that. I think all it is just saying to people, this is not good enough. And you've got 4 big games now after the international break, and it must improve. And if it doesn't improve, more questions will be asked. And I think that's fine. We are a club. We repeat it, and we need to keep repeating it. We are a club that we should be doing so much better than we are doing. And I think if we sit here and continue this, which I see all the time, which is, oh, it's only been 3 games, oh, it's only been 4 games, oh, it's only been 5 games, oh, it's only been 3 months since we won a game. We have to keep reminding people that we are a big club. We should be doing better. Whether we deserve to do better and all that nonsense, that doesn't matter. But you have to sit back, you know, you have to go, this isn't right. You know, when you watch like Sky or whatever, and it's like when Man United are not doing well, or if Liverpool are not doing well, and people go and they demand better. Why aren't we demanding better? We're not asking any media company or any support, any ex-player to demand it. We should be demanding it. And all that is saying is that what happened on Saturday isn't right. And whether it was the players or whether it was the manager, we deserve better as fans.
I told you I'm watching the La Liga documentary on Netflix. Brilliant. And it's the Sevilla. I'm saying this yesterday, Jack. It's from when Sevilla have just won the Europa League, so last summer, and they're having a meeting about wanting to change the not the style, but wanting to change the ethos, getting more younger players in, and they're having a bit of back and forth with the manager and all that. But they're in the Champions League.
Yeah,
they lose the first 3 league games, and they sack him. And he said he should have just won a trophy. They're in the Champions League. They lose the first 3 league games. They might have drawn the 4th, and then he's gone. And they had the director, and it was Orta, who was at Leeds as well, because he's there now. But they had him and another fella on. They were like, we can't be seen to accept 3 games on the run losing, because if we do it, then what message does that send out to everybody that we're accepting this like mediocrity? And I was just like, I'm not suggesting Everton turn into that, but I was just like, wow, what a way to run your club.
I mean, it shows it can be done, can't it?
But they just wouldn't have it. So imagine Everton winning the Europa League last season, losing the first 3 games, the manager sacked the beat. People would just be losing their minds, and it's like they're saying the reason why we've done it though is because we're not going to be seen as a club that accepts mediocrity. And they're behind Real Madrid and Barca and Atletico and clubs like that, aren't they? But I was just like, wow. You know, and we've also seen when people moan about the supporters or cry because some supporters, I actually think the people who are having a go at supporters for having a go at Dyche are actually the minority. That's how it feels, because if you take it off Twitter, they're 100% the minority. But it seems like when us as fans shouldn't be arguing with each other. We shouldn't be. We're all going to have slightly different points of view, because that's life. We all have it. But all of our common aim, surely, is we want our football club to be the best, right? So we shouldn't be arguing with each other. We might disagree slightly, but we shouldn't be arguing. But Jose Mourinho, just that clips out from Fenerbahce.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely spot on. The directors need to be calm. The coach needs to be calm. He said the president, we don't have a president, but the owner maybe can be calm in moments. The fans can't be calm. The fans should be absolutely crazy because that crazy passion drives your football club, drives it forward. And he says if the players can't handle it, or a manager can't handle that from the supporters, they shouldn't be. And he says they shouldn't be at Fenerbahce. That's what what's the biggest thing we've got? We haven't won a trophy for years. So our biggest asset is our supporters, right? And the only way I think Everton Football Club barges back into being being relevant is by the emotion and the craziness of our fans, by demanding more. But when we demand more and then players give us it, it's berserk. Goodison Park, go and look at the street end when Michael Keane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored at the weekend, right? And this isn't having a go at Bournemouth, but there's a video going around in Bournemouth's end when they scored the winner. The difference is night and day. It's not having a go at Bournemouth because they're just a different fan base. Our fans are lunatics. The passion is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that, to me, is the thing more than anyone else that's going to drag us back into the elite, if you like. We will need better owner. We'll need a plan. We will need better footballers ultimately. But to me, wanting us to be just accept that the best we can hope for 17th, and we should be happy to be in the league. Once our fans start arguing about us wanting to win the league and saying you should be grateful we're in the Premier League, that isn't my Everton. And when Marino was saying that, I was just like, Josie, you are spot on, mate. I know he's a nuisance, and I know.
No, but he's right, and he's right. And I think that sums us. I know he's talking about Fenerbahce, but I think it sums us as Evertonians up perfectly, because the thing about us as well is we love and we hate, don't we? You know, we're either
the emotional side.
No, it is. It's emotion, because
and what if we had, Jack? We've been kicked from pillar to post. We live in a city. I know it doesn't matter, but we live in a city with one of the biggest clubs in the world that wins stuff. And it's in our face, and yet we sell out. We've got 30,000 on the waiting list. So.
But this manager a few weeks ago spoke about, 1 week you're hero, next week you're zero at this club. It was like, you've nor been hero nor zero at this club, because if you've seen us hate people, you've seen us hate Rafa Benitez.
Yeah.
You've seen the way we treat people that are true zeros in our eyes, and the manager's not been treated like that. And a hero, well, our heroes are Kevin Campbell and Howard Kendall and Duncan Ferguson and players and people who loved Everton and gave everything for Everton, and we shown that with our passion, our love for them.
Coleman, who we love.
See, that's where I think he doesn't get the club, because that hero zero thing is part of the passion.
That was a terrible statement.
I have no issue with saying this, but any player who can't handle Goodison Park shouldn't be playing for Everton Football Club.
Josie just said it.
I know, I'm
Jose
saying.
Marino was just got nailed.
But there'll be people who'll go, oh, no. I firmly believe if you can't handle your own fans, then how are you going to handle...
Joseph Carey said, do you think Marino could handle Evertonians?
Yeah, he'd love it.
Yeah,
he'd love it. Doesn't mean that, by the way, that doesn't mean I want Joseph to be my manager.
No.
It just means that...
If he'd have ended up as Everton manager...
He understands that culture, and he thrives in that culture.
Remember when we played Chelsea years ago, they beat us 1-0 when he was Chelsea manager, and our fans... It was away at the Bridge. I think Arjen Robben scored with about 20 minutes left. We played really well. And our fans didn't shut up from start to finish. And he referenced Evertonians. He said, I wish we had supporters like this.
No, but
he said, unbelievable.
If you can't handle Goodison Park, then how are you ever going to handle Anfield? How are you ever going to handle Old Trafford? How are you ever going to handle... There's a reason why we've got the records we have. The Emirates, okay, at Tottenham, we won there. Okay, we won there. Anfield, we won there in COVID. Yeah, that doesn't count. I don't count the COVID year.
I'm counting it.
Well, you can. I don't.
The Emirates,
you sat here the other day. You sat here before somehow how they all looked like just training games, because they were training games.
No, they were, but we still won.
Anyway, didn't break the psyche, did it?
No.
You just mentioned Kevin Campbell. Kevin Campbell did go there. He did get the winning goal. We did beat them. We did have a scrap with them. We ended up winning. There's certain players who could handle it, who could stand up. When I see players and they're like, oh, I don't fancy this, going to Spurs and being all... Well, Spurs are not even that good. They don't make it hostile. They are a good side, but we didn't even stand up to them. And I'm firm with the belief, and I know we live in a world now which is slightly different and you're not allowed to say boo to a goose, but I do believe in certain old-fashioned values, and if a player can't take the intimidation of being playing in a football game, then they should just pack in and go home, because that's what it's all about. If you can't win your battles in football, then what's the point?
Yeah, and even before you get into, like you say, how to go to Anfield, the Emirates, Old Trafford, etc., you have to be able to put up with Goodison Park as an Everton player, because like it or not, Goodison Park's our stadium. And I know we're moving to Bramley-Moore next year, but it's going to be filled by the same people who act the same way, who have the same attitudes, the same passion, the same hatred, the same love.
Why shouldn't we demand? And I don't think we're a particularly demanding fan base, to be honest, because we've put up with shite. So why shouldn't we sort of make those demands that we want?
Apathy, which is the next stage, by the way, that nobody wants, leads you to having no fans. We've both been there.
You got no fans?
We've been there when there's been 12, 13,000 at Goodison Park. You know, the day Cotty scored and then Howard Kendall leaves after the game. There was 13,000, I think, at the game.
I've been in there before now.
You know, we've had away games. We've got the record. But believe it or not, someone might know this, but the lowest record attendance for a game was Wimbledon versus Everton, and there was 3,500 people at the game. 3,500 people. That's what we take to away games now. But the apathy was such in them days, because football was different. It was like 92 that people wouldn't travel on a Tuesday night to watch Everton versus Wimbledon. It was a different thing now. Now people will be chomping at the bit to go to that game and go, do you know what? We can get 15 in that ground. We can get 15,000 in that ground, because there'll be no Wimbledon fans there. Apathy is the thing that when you're going to an FA Cup game or even the League Cup when there's only 20,000 there, that's what apathy brings you. That's what happens when your fans go, nah, can't be bothered. While Evertonians still care, and this is the thing that the club don't seem to get, and the people who are there now will never get. If you don't harness this fan base, good or bad, then what's the point? They are terrified of the fan base. They've been terrified for years. Absolutely terrified. Or I'll tell you what, sneak that announcement out or whatever, where it's like, imagine you could harness this fan base. Not that hard to harness us. Whether it's good or bad, you just got to front it up.
It's the biggest asset.
You've just got to front it up and make sure that when things go wrong, you front it up and you face it up.
Apparently Everton have retiled the dressing room with his maximum effort. The minimum.
Haven't you seen the pictures?
Embarrassing. Phil Gaiman says any football club, he's one of our members, any football club in any league is nothing without the fans. And James says Mourinho thrives on siege mentality. Absolutely. Pokey Jedi, who Mrs. James Rodriguez says, anyway, is Dele back on the grass? I think he is back on the grass, isn't he?
But for me, the manager, number one, should take responsibility anyway for what happened on Saturday. But on the comments that he makes about hot and cold, he should never say that. He should be more like, none of us are heroes. Why would we be heroes? We haven't done none. Staying up, that's not being a hero. No one at this, no Evertonian, I believe, believes that Everton staying up makes anyone a hero. And when I see people posting videos of like the Palace game, it just makes me cringe. It was that night, and then the following year against Bournemouth, we made our feelings known and there should never have been anyone running on the pitch, because that's just cringy. And last year we did it in time, so everyone's like, yeah, Sam, we done it, nice one, well done for that. But not heroes. This idea, if you think you're a hero because you kept us up, Graham Stewart to me is a hero because he was part of the 95 team, not because he scored 2 goals against Wimbledon. No, that's nonsense.
He played his part in an important game.
Yeah,
that was it.
But he's not a hero for that. He's a hero because he scored goals in the semi-final, got us to the final. Should have scored the winner.
He should have.
But was part of the team. That's why he's a hero to me. You know, there's a loser mentality at Everton, and when I hear Dice say the things he says, I just think you're part of that loser mentality. When you say those things, when you throw the blame, I want a manager to go, that was all on me. That was all on me. That, whether you believe it or not, that was all on me. I cocked up there. I should never have made that sub. I changed the game. That's all on me.
It's a way to say it, isn't it? It's just a way to say it.
Nothing to do with those players. I made the mistake. And people go, sound, yeah. And then people will still argue whether the players, because there's power in what you say.
Emma says, stop pissing on our good times, Ped.
Yeah, sorry.
Barry said, Mourinho said he'd manage Everton, but never Liverpool.
Yeah, of course.
He did say that, didn't he?
Him.
But
there's a way of saying things. Again, when you talk about understanding the fan base, He clearly goes on social media. The things he said in the last few weeks indicate that he goes on social media. Yeah, no, Dice.
Oh, Dice does.
Definitely got a burner account going there.
Yeah, or someone.
It gets back to him. Well, look at the fan base and look how this week fans are squabbling over whether it was the fan. You get around that by just going, it was my fault. I made the mistake. Not throwing the players under the bus. When anyone with a set of eyes, I believe he was at that ground on Saturday, knows who caused that.
Allardyce did this, didn't he?
Yeah.
Allardyce, I remember when Spurs spanked us everywhere at Wembley, beat us 4-0, Towson's debut, and he come out and said, they basically asked him, and he went, yeah, it was them. Nothing to do with me. I gave them the game plan, they didn't do it. So they got
It's lazy, isn't it? It's lazy.
And it's just like that can't be the thing, because and this is when people, and this is the thing I struggle with some Blues, is that when we win, it's all Sean Dyche, and when we lose, it's the players. And it's like, well, it's either one or the other. The players are either the ones who get you the wins and lose you the game, or the manager gets you the wins, he also loses you the game. It can't be, because I like you, Jack, when we win, I'm giving you all the praise. You might make terrible decisions and we lose, but it's their fault, nothing to do with you. You can't absolve someone of the blame if you want to put all the praise onto them.
No, but it's people seeing what they want to see to back up their arguments, isn't it? And that's why I just think you've just got to try and, base your opinions on what you see. Don't try and base what you see on your opinions.
Yeah. And that's it. We all, like I said before, right? We all want the same outcome, I'm sure. But Evertonians, we all want our team to be good to watch and win stuff. That would be the perfect thing. Let's see what happens. It's we can't lose this weekend, like you said. Like, last couple from our members, Phil Gaiman says, Dyche reminds me of that meme of a dog sat in a house that's on fire but doesn't notice and everything's fine.
Also, can I just say this dead quick? Our members, right? We've put some nice little avatar things of our players. Can I see someone use one of them in the next minute, just so I know that they work?
Oh yeah, just go and Posh Matty, you've been very good. So go and use one of them other
I want to see if it works,
just to make sure it works.
We've got player ones.
But Posh Matty did say in weird non-Everton news this week, Steve Bruce is the new manager of Blackpool.
Yeah, I mean, he was nearly the Jamaica manager, weren't he? But they went with Steve McLaren.
Well, they do say Blackpool is the Jamaica of the North. They do.
Yeah.
They do. That's a common thing.
Well, it's going to Blackpool, Jamaica. My wife's in Blackpool, Jamaica, and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Phil is right, Phil.
They are. Phil, well done, Phil.
There you go.
So they're working.
He's
bounced it up.
The little player stickers.
Phil's flew in there with the player stickers. There you go, Phil. And James has done it as we see. They're all doing it. They're all on it. Posh Matty, they're all on it. I mean, it's interesting. That is an interesting formation.
Yeah.
Phil Gaiman's gone with 5 at the back. James Graham's put 1 in the middle, and Posh Matty's gone with 4 up top. So a 5-1-4 formation.
For only 99 pence a month, you can also use at the Everton
sticker. I mean, James has also got the Last Dance t-shirt.
Yeah, put them on as well.
So fair play, as Phil Gaiman. Oh, they're all doing it now. Right,
yes.
I want me dinner. Listen, Ian Murphy's gone with all the 5 plays. Well, isn't he? Listen,
up the members, that's what I say.
Up the members. We're not throwing the members under the bus.
Do you know who's not a member? Emma, because she's too busy trying to pay for the bus.
Fair play to throw us under.
Yeah.
Nice one. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you, everybody who has joined us tonight. Have a Bonastic, we can't do that. Have a great night, and obviously we'll be back for the Everton Daily Live tomorrow at 1 o'clock. See you all later. Bye. Do what you want, Sam.